When I play up game and then talk, I'm trying, Jennifer.
Rip City, what is going on? We're back again. All-star break. We're back. We were gonna do an episode during All-Star break, but we figured there wasn't much to talk about, so we'd wait until one more week. So we're here. We're ready to talk some basketball. I got Fawad here with me tonight. Fawad, how you doing?
I'm good. And yeah, like you said, we missed last week, but it was that one was by choice, so that doesn't count. The ones earlier in the season, those were for other circumstances, but this one it was just we felt there was nothing really important to talk about. But now things have happened and we're back.
Well, let's touch on the All-Star game real quick and the 3-point contest, because those are the two things that Blazer fans were concerned with. First things first, Dame obviously was in the 3-point contest. So was Simons, but then he rolled his ankle and he was not able to participate. So he got replaced by Julius Randle, which I thought was kind of a weird choice. But for those of you that don't know, Damian Lillard ended up winning the 3-point contest, third time's the charm. It came down to him and Buddy Hield, and I don't remember who the third one was because it wasn't close.
I think it's Halliburton because he had 31 in the first round,
right? The first round Halliburton went off, and then the second round he couldn't hit anything. It came down to Hield and Lillard, and Lillard hit the last money ball on his rack to win. So Damian Lillard now has a 3-point contest championship, which is nice. I think the way he's been playing all year, that's probably I don't know. I don't think that might not be the last award he gets. Let's just put it that way. And then the All-Star game. The last couple All-Star games I enjoyed, but this one it just kind of went back to the just same let everyone score and have, Dame hit a half-court shot. He hit the game-winning shot. He finished with 26 points. Was there anything All-Star game-wise that you wanted to talk about necessarily?
No, not really, but yeah, it wasn't the best, but I feel like people hated on it a little too much. Like there were still some good moments, like Tatum and Brown going at it. That was really
Tatum
nice.
And Brown, that was a good one.
And then Dame's beyond half court was a nice highlight, but yeah, like it was definitely on the lower end for sure. The most disappointing, I think, what left us more sour taste in people's mouth was the fourth quarter wasn't competitive, even though whatever the losing team was, I think Team LeBron, they had a chance and they just still weren't trying, so that was disappointing.
Yeah,
there were enjoyable moments throughout the game. It wasn't overall great, but I didn't regret watching it.
I'm curious how many players have never scored a point like De'Aaron Fox. Because De'Aaron Fox had a chance. He blew a layup. Yeah, he had a chance to score, and he blew a layup. But yeah, All-Star game, the last couple ones were pretty good. This one wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't, in my opinion, to the level of the last couple ones. But Dame played good, hit some deep shots, some real deep shots. Tatum went crazy with 55 points. It wasn't a bad All-Star. Honestly, the dunk contest was crazy. That's not something we could say, the last couple of years, but this year was a pretty good dunk contest. That at least I enjoyed it.
What's his name? Mac McClung was great, and Trey Murphy had one or two nice dunks, but I still thought it was just whatever.
Well, yeah. Let me rephrase.
Mac McClung was
crazy,
yeah.
But his dunks were.
Yeah, his dunks were all-time level. Some of them.
I don't know if there's ever been a time where it was a clear cut who the winner was. Everyone knew that was who won that dunk contest. So yeah, All-Star weekend's over. We've had 2 games and we're on our 3rd game tonight. We're playing the Warriors, and last I checked, we were up by 20 points. It's halftime. But the big
Dame
news, what
has
I'm sure
a
everyone's
19 at half.
19. Okay. The big news, which I'm sure most Blazer fans know. If you don't know, you've been living under a rock. What was that? Sunday night, Damian Lillard. The Portland Trail Blazers beat the Houston Rockets. Big whoop-de-doo, right? Big whoop-de-doo. Damian Lillard had 71 points. And that's not a typo. 71.
In regulation.
Yeah, no overtime was needed. And to me, the most important stat of all was this was under 40 shots. He didn't even have to take 40 shots to get 71.
You know what was
This
more
dude-
impressive to me?
Go for it.
He played under 40 minutes.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even notice that.
I
You're
think he
right.
played like 34, 36 minutes or something like that. Like
This one says 39.
Oh, okay.
So he was right there at 40, but still. The fact is, not only does he have the most efficient 60-point game, he now has the most efficient 70-point game. I am not kidding you when I tell you that if you did not watch this game, you missed out. I mean, he was Houston could not do anything. I mean, they double teamed him, they triple teamed him, they blitzed all the screens, and it just did not matter. That dude, 13 of 22 from 3, 14 of 14 from the free throw line, had 6 assists. At one point, he had the 666 stat line. He had 66 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I was like, uh-oh, he's going to tear his ACL or something now. He's got cursed. But, I mean, that game, the most efficient, I know it's Houston. I know they're not the greatest team, but if you watch the game, you saw that they were doing everything they possibly could to try to stop Dame, and they couldn't. Dame had a nasty dunk on Jabari Smith. I mean, that was nasty. I mean, it was a fun game to watch. I couldn't believe he had 41 at halftime. Just a crazy game. What was your take on that game?
One of my biggest regrets for the rest of my life will be not watching the entire game. I don't remember if I wasn't home or if I was just busy during the first half. I missed all of that. And then I think I got part of the third and then most of the fourth. So of the 71, I probably caught around like 25. So I wish, I got all 71. Watching live, obviously I saw the highlights after, but even just the shots that I saw, they were just, he was just throwing shots up and they were just going in. Like some of them, he was stepping back from probably 30 feet, like a step back. Like that's insane. And just, I don't know, like we've seen him go off, but this was like insane for him. Like we've seen him, like you said, he dropped the most efficient 60-point game. Like this was a step above that. It was just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And what do you call it? Like at the end of the game, he got tired, so that was a little bit annoying because I wanted him to get the 14 threes too to tie the record, if not 15 to break it. But he ended with 13. And before he got tired in those last 2-3 minutes, his efficiency was like on another level. Like even after breaking all those shots near the end, like 3 or 4 threes, he still had the most efficient 70-point game. Imagine if he didn't miss those couple when he was starting to force it for 70. That would have been like 80-90% true shooting, and he had like 69. That was like insane. Just
that whole game was just, I mean, it didn't matter. Like I said, it didn't matter what they did. Whether it was good defense or not, he was making every single shot. It was crazy.
I think after that game, he's solidified himself as one of the best scorers of all time. He was definitely in that conversation before, but I think he's definitely top 10 now, and he's probably solidified himself as the number 2 shooter of all time. So
I mean,
that's good.
If anyone questioned if he was I'm gonna say top 5 scorer of all time, just go ahead and this is the game you show them. I'm gonna reiterate. I know it's Houston. I know they're not the best team, but they were still double and triple teaming and off ball, just playing tight on him, and it did not matter. Like it just Dame's 6. He's probably 6'1", 6'2". I mean, it just didn't matter. It didn't matter what they did. It was just it's so funny. If you look at the stat line, it's so funny. You see Dame with 71. Our next leading scorer had 13 points. like it's just it did not matter. He was a one-man wrecking
if
crew.
Dame is cooking like that, no one else better shoot. Like you better pass Dame the ball every single possession.
That's true. Let's see. Jeremy Grant was the next highest with 10 shots. So I mean, it was a very fun game. It sucks that Fawad didn't get to watch it, and if any of you guys missed it, it sucks you guys didn't get to watch it. But it did bring out an issue. It brought out all the media saying this Dame's got to leave Portland. Dame started it all right back up again. Dame's got to leave Portland. It's so funny. People, if you like, if people like Kevin Durant leave Oklahoma City, maybe Kevin Durant's not a good point because no one really liked what he did. But you get all these dudes that are ring chasers, and everyone's complaining is, oh, they're ring chasing. And then in the exact same breath, you got the same exact people saying, Dame's got to leave Portland. He's not going to win there. He's got to go somewhere else. It's like, well, what the hell? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to leave or are you supposed to stay? Because you're getting mad for people for leaving, and then you're saying these people need to leave. It makes no sense. Dame has said multiple times he is happy here, and even if he never wins, he's happy. And you keep scoring 71 points, I'm pretty sure you're going to win one here. I don't even know what you can't. There's not even a way to break down what he did the other night. It is just absolutely insane.
Like whatever way you slice it, it was one of the best performances in NBA history. Like not of his career, like in the NBA.
Yes. I mean, whatever he ate that morning for breakfast, lunch, he needs to do it every time because I don't know. That was insane. And he made a quote. He said something like he could tell that it was going to be a big night before the game even started because the crowd had got him like kind of amped up a little bit. And he was like, he could feel it before the game even started that it was going to be a big night. I don't think he realized it was going to be this big of a night, but I mean, he's on another level. I mean, right now he got player of the month, I believe. I thought I saw, I could be wrong.
I didn't see that, but I've been busy like the entire day today, so I could have missed it.
It said he's averaging 40 points in the month of February, and he's the first person to do that since Kobe Bryant.
Wait, the month hasn't ended today though, so they probably haven't given it out yet.
Well, let's just say if you're averaging 40 points in 1 month, you're getting player of the month. I'm willing to put my house on that one.
I wonder how many players have averaged 40 in a month. I think Harden did it one time. I'm sure Kobe probably had a month. Like, is it?
It said Kobe was the last one to do it.
Oh, really?
So Kobe was the last one, and then Dame. I mean, there was a time when I remember Harden going
he
crazy.
Probably had like a 30-day span, but it might not have been like a calendar month, maybe.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys don't know, Damian Lillard has been absolutely nuclear. I mean, he is just to average 40 points in one whole month, and on top of averaging 40 points, he's still averaging like 6 assists a game. So I mean, and he's doing it so efficiently. This is something Fawad wanted to talk about, and it's something we've talked about in the past. In my opinion, and I said this on one of the podcasts, this is Damian Lillard's best season. So, Fawad, let me throw it to you. I think you were still kind of on the fence if it was. How do you feel now?
Yeah, I think last time we talked about it, I said it's probably his second best season, but you know, in those weeks since we talked about it, I'm literally speechless. So the scoring I've seen from him has, no one in the NBA has ever, like, very few people have ever done anything even remotely close to what he's been doing. So, I think it's almost without a doubt his best season. He's at his peak. Peak so far, maybe he has another level, who knows.
I would lose my mind if there was another step.
But yeah, like I just don't even know what to say. Like, I didn't think he had like another level on top of this. Every year since he was like 28, 29, I was like, okay, let me cool my expectations. He's starting to age. He might, maybe he won't get better. Maybe he'll stay the same. And he just like keeps improving. It's just insane.
And not only is he getting older, but he's playing so many minutes. He's being like the primary ball handler. He's got the ball constantly in his hand. So it's like all this added pressure, not pressure, but these added minutes just because you know how they said CJ ran the most, on the court miles wise because of how much he ran up and down the court. I mean, Dame's got to be close to that as well, and it's just the dude is what 31 now.
He's 32. No.
32. He might be 30.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's 30, he's almost 33 actually.
Look. I'm 30. I mean, I know I'm not in shape, but I had to play a full game last Sunday, and I was fucking dead. It was game over for me. So the fact that he's doing this, and scoring 71 efficiently, not even like to say you score 71 and it be not efficient, like that's still crazy. But when you say 71 and it's efficient, it's just like it's on a whole nother level. Like the last game Kobe played where he scored 60. That was not an efficient 60. He shot I think he shot more than 60 times if I remember right, or maybe he shot like 50 times or something like
50s.
that. Yeah, so it's like that's not efficient at all. So to score 60, that if you're shooting that many times, you should be scoring the 60 points. But for Dame to only shoot 38 times or whatever it was, I mean that's just insane. It's crazy. No one, I know basketball is changing and defense is kind of losing. You're kind of going away from defense, and you're going to see these crazy stat lines. I mean, we've seen Donovan Mitchell get 71, but like, are we ever going to see someone be that efficient again for a 70-point game?
You know what's crazy is, to score 70, you need to be having an efficient night. Like, teams aren't just going to let you shoot like 70 times. You have to be on a roll to be hitting 70. And out of all the players who have hit 70, who had to have been shooting efficiently, he was still the most efficient out of all of them. That's just how it's inhuman.
I'm gonna look up Donovan Mitchell's 71-point game.
That was pretty efficient too. I don't remember exactly, but I do think it was relatively efficient.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, we could sit here and talk about it for hours. I mean, it's just. And also Donovan Mitchell's 71 was in an overtime game, if I remember right.
Single overtime.
So, could you like if Donovan Mitchell if Damian Lillard's game went into overtime, what the hell could that score have been? Like, it probably could have been up there with Kobe. If it went into one more overtime, it probably would have been up there with Kobe.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell. Like, he's a great player. That game, I watched. I think I watched all of overtime in like the fourth quarter for that game too. He was just as much on fire as Dame. Like, he was hitting some ridiculous shots. But so no disrespect to him at all. It's just Dame's was like just like a tiny bit more impressive. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to find the actual.
I'm looking at all the 70-point games ever, and every single one of them was above 50. Like, they were all like 58% from the field or higher, except for Booker. Booker was kind of like just whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, Booker's was like not efficient at all, right?
Like, it was still efficient. It just wasn't anything. Is there your regular efficient game like 50% from the field, 36 from three? But all the other ones are like ridiculous, and then Dame on top of that is even more like the most efficient out of all of them. It's just crazy.
Yeah, let me just put it this way: we are so lucky, and I know we've said this before. We are so lucky to have Damian Lillard on our team. Like, there are teams that will never have a player at this level. Like, I just don't.
I mean,
we're so like, I know it sucks to lose, but we are so lucky to have this dude on our team.
How many teams can say they've even had a player like this now? Like,
there's not many.
Lakers can say that with Kobe. Believe. Cavs can say that with LeBron. Like, the Warriors and Curry. But even like KD, like, he's been on 3-4 different teams. No one team really claims him. Dame is like ours, and he's been doing things that no one in the NBA has ever done. Like, you want me to pull up another stat? He has now the third most 60-point games ever. Actually, he had the third most before, but he was in a tie. Now he's in sole possession.
Yeah, now he
Third
owns it.
most 60-point games ever. Like more than Harden, more than MJ. It's just more. LeBron's not even like close. But
No.
we can go on and on.
Yeah, the one last thing I want to add to this, and you just reminded me. To me, this is the most impressive. Like when you think about Damian Lillard, it's this. This is a stat. It says Damian Lillard has more 60-point games than Curry, LeBron, Shaq, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, and Kevin Durant combined. All of those dudes combined do not have as many 60-point games as Damian Lillard does. That's mind blowing. Like, just absolutely crazy to think about. So, we can, like we said, we can talk about this for hours. But we're gonna talk about one last thing before we wrap it up. Actually, I want to bring up one more thing before we get to this, real quick. For those of you that are questioning, should we be tanking? Should we be trying to win, make the playoffs? We've touched on it a little bit, but in my opinion, and Fawad, if you have a different opinion, please let me know. Tanking, I mean, sure, would it be awesome to get the number 1 pick? Yeah, that would be awesome. Is it gonna happen? Hell no, it's not gonna happen. Even if we lose the rest of our games, we're not gonna get the number 1 pick. Making the playoffs, lifting the protection on the Chicago Bulls pick that that they get from us, allowing us to make trades in the offseason is the best case scenario for us. Whether we get swept in the first round or not, the goal of this season should be making the playoffs and staying under the tax. What happens after that is just all a cherry on the top. If we make it to the second round, then awesome. If we get swept, oh well. We lifted the protection, we stayed under the tax. Now we can go. If the true goal, like they're all saying, if the true goal is to be aggressive and win a championship next year and the year after, that is the way you do it. That is the way, in my opinion. Am I wrong, Fuad? Do you feel differently?
No, I 100% agree. But are there even like that many people in favor of tanking? I feel like the only people I've seen talk about it was in our Discord today or yesterday, whatever it was. But I feel like there's a vast majority of Blazers fans they want to win. But I don't know. I haven't been on the subreddit too much.
Let me put it. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't been on Reddit in forever. But let me just say this: the couple of Facebook groups I'm in, the amount of people, I love the Facebook groups, and there are some good, smart people in there, but there are a lot of people that I question what their basketball IQ is. The amount of people I see that we should be tanking to get the pick, or the amount of people that said we should be trading Damian Lillard so we can get more picks and we can rebuild and start all over. For those of you, if you're listening and you're on the fence teetering between tanking and making the playoffs, I don't know how else to put this, but just get the tanking out of your mind. We need to make the playoffs. Who cares if we get swept? It's never been about this year. Like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Resign Grant. And we're going to touch on a couple other players here in just a second. Make the playoffs. Stay under the tax. Those are our 3 goals. In my opinion, those are 3 goals. In the wrong order, but that's the 3 goals. Fawad said he agrees with me, so we won't touch on that. So something I wanted to talk about.
Just to add on, like making the playoffs is not a tall order at all anymore. Actually, I don't know if it ever was out of the question, but right now, last 10 games we've been 5-5, which is just whatever. But we're only one. If we win this game, which is very likely, I think we are only 1 game out of 7 seed. Am I looking at this right? Maybe even a half game.
Yep, you're right. 1 game out.
Because the Jazz just lost, and I don't think the thing I'm looking at is updated. So I think it'll actually only be a half game.
Dallas has 32 wins and 31
but they're the
losses.
6th seed is from what I'm seeing.
Oh, my website says
Okay,
7,
I don't
so
I don't I
I
don't
could be
trust my
this could be
website. Let me go to
today.
NBA.com really quickly. Sorry for this little quick thing. Um, sorry, just one sec. Okay, whatever. Anyways, the overall point is we're definitely under 2 games from the 7th seed, so
Yes.
it's
Yes.
well within reach. I don't think any of these teams in the 7 to 10 range are that much better than us, anyways. Especially the Pelicans, who are trending down, like down fast since Zion's been out. Lakers lost LeBron, so they won't be catching up from beneath us either. It's ours for the taking.
You are right. This app, well, that's weird. This app says they're the 6th seed, and this ESPN says they're the 7th seed. That's
Okay, so
confusing.
NBA, yeah,
Um,
just okay.
and we're playing Golden State right now, who is either the
Yeah.
6th or 7th seed. So if we beat them, then yeah, we're point of the matter is we're extremely close, and it can like we're only 3 games back from the 5th seed. If I mean, it's just uh-oh, Dame's on the ground. Oh no, he's good. Okay, we're good. Sorry. I mean, anything could happen. Phoenix is like the 4th seed has got 33 wins, so anything's possible. The way Dame's playing right now, really anything's possible.
Okay, I got my thing sorted out.
But
If we win this game, we are either half game back from 7th seed or 1 game back, depending on if Minnesota wins or not. If they lose, we're only
gotcha.
half game out of 7th seed, which is like basically nothing.
So one thing we left the podcast last time with you bringing this up, and it's something we've talked about in the past, and it's something feel strongly about. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a shooting guard that played the actual shooting guard position that was still a very good player? Wouldn't that be nice? Can you think of anybody that fits that?
Do I just say what I said last time?
I mean, yeah, you can just go ahead
I
and say it.
mean, Norman Powell, if he was played with us without CJ, you can't really think of much of a better fit beside Dame than him. He plays
And
plays good D. He can shoot. He can create his own shot. Is a good finish. He's just like handcrafted to fit next to Dame.
yep. And everyone sees what he did with us playing out of position and thinks he's so bad. And oh, he got 19 million a year. And he no. He's coming off the bench for the Clippers. You can't even start for the Clippers. No, just stop. Norman Powell was, like you just said, was made by the gods to play next to Damian Lillard at the shooting guard position and would be a perfect running mate next to him. And if you have Norman Powell, Damian Lillard, and Jeremy Grant, as much as I enjoy Ant, I like that 100 times better than having Dame, Ant, and Jeremy Grant. I mean, not like we all know that I'm all game for trading Simons, but it's just Powell is the better fit. He always, like we said from the get-go, he just was playing out of position. And yeah, when you're playing out of position and you're guarding dudes that are way bigger than you, way stronger than you, you're defensively, you're going to be struggling a little bit. We know that he's a good defensive player. He may not be a great defensive player, but he is a good defensive player. And if you put him at the shooting guard position, he's going to excel way more than he was. I mean, he's averaging 17 points right now, 48% from the field. I don't know what his 3-point percentage is.
Listen,
42% from the
you
3.
were
So
talking about how it was super weird, but at the start of the season, Blazers fans were kind of attacking him out of nowhere. Like for him coming off the bench, for him having an admittedly horrendous start, but people were like attacking him for forcing his way out of Portland, which was not true in the slightest, saying that he was bad for us, which
Nope.
also was not true. He was just bad in the playoffs. The regular season, he was great. But since that horrendous start, his last 30 games, which is over half the season, he's been averaging 19 points on 50% from the field, 45% from 3, 82 from free throw line. So that's like insane percentages to be averaging, and 19 points is a lot too. So imagine, and he's doing that off the bench, like you said, in only 26 minutes. It's just insane. Imagine if he
yeah,
was doing that next to Dame. And imagine if Ant off the bench, he
it,
doesn't even need to be traded. Like that's just the best backcourt in the NBA.
Well, and we didn't like the trade necessarily when it happened with Powell and Rocco. We weren't the biggest fans of it. Um, and it just stings because Powell does fit so well with us, and now we get to watch him fit well with the Clippers. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like a better version of Josh Hart, where you can kind of put him anywhere and he fits as long as you're putting him in the right positions, right situation, right positions. Um, so yeah, for all of you that think Norman Powell's not good, it sure would be nice to have Norman Powell on our team. But the one last thing I want to touch on before we end this, we made a couple trades for Matisse Thybulle and Cam Reddish. So we've had a little bit of time to see Cam Reddish and Thybulle play. Um, to me, both have been impressive. Thybulle's been hitting a lot, shooting better from three than I expected. Um, tonight, I think he's hit 2 or 3 threes. But his defense, which is the main thing everyone knows about, it has been amazing. I have no issues with us re-signing him, depending on how much. Obviously, all this is depending on how much, but I think he's the type of player that would be nice to have on our team. And if he continues to at least improve on his shooting like he has been, I think he's a very, very, very good weapon. A good player that you can plug in at any time that you need defense. But the biggest player, the one you weren't too much of a fan of, and I wasn't necessarily a fan of, but I was willing to see, like, I could see him potentially being good, was Cam Reddish. So for those of you that don't know, I have his stats pulled up since he's been traded to us. He's averaging 13 points a game, shooting 45% from pretty much 46% and 37% from three. Plays pretty decent defense. He's a bigger guy, so that's nice. How do you feel with Cam Reddish and Thybulle? How has your mind changed a little bit? Are you still kind of iffy on him?
Yeah, no, Thybulle has been great. I didn't think he would be bad. I just was being cautious because he had not been great this season. But I did
No,
I did
and
see the
that's fair.
potential of that,
You're
and
right.
he's like more than realizing that potential. But in terms of Reddish, I can't lie, he's been better than I expected. But I still would not want to bring him back, and I'm still not convinced that this, like, I don't know if you want to call it like a hot start or just his production right now. I'm not convinced that it will last for the entire season. Yeah, that's basically
Yeah,
what.
I mean,
Like
it,
I'll give him his
you
props.
might be right.
He's on both ends, especially on defense. He's been way better than I expected on defense, but even on offense, he's been hitting his shots for the most part. I think he's had a few like bad games in there, but like for the most part, he's been solid. I'll give him that. Yeah,
And this is all to say this has kind of all been happening without Nurkic
yeah, he's
playing
been out
for
for a
us. I
while
mean,
now.
the last and Winslow. I mean, did he get a whole entire foot replacement? Like, I don't know what happened to him, but he hurts his ankle and he's gone for 6
Oh, that
months. It's
reminds
crazy.
me. Did Ant get hurt before our last episode? I don't think so, right?
He got
Yeah,
hurt after
that's
our last
something
one.
that we should probably talk about as well. That's a huge loss if he's out for some extended time. But I think the most recent update I saw was fairly positive. There wasn't a timeline on it, but it sounded encouraging. So hopefully he's back soon.
Yeah, for those of you that didn't see, he rolled his ankle. I mean, it was it was a pretty gross roll. I mean, his ankle bone touched the side of the court. If that tells you how much of a tweak that was. Last I saw that it was like a multiple week one, so I would not expect him back for a while. I mean, he luckily happened right before All-Star break, so he had a week and a half extra off without any games. But my guess is he's gonna probably miss at least 15 games.
Yeah, but I thought it looked so bad. I thought honestly he was probably gonna miss the entire season, or at least nearly the entire season. But yeah, it sounds like he should be back for the end. Just I don't know. I haven't seen a timeline, but just based on I think I saw a comparison to like other players, how long they took, and then based on the reports that he's progressing like well, I think he'll be back.
Yeah, the good
Yeah.
thing is he's young. I mean,
He's
rolling
young
your
and he's
ankle is
super
not
athlete.
fun.
Like I didn't factor that in.
Yeah. I've rolled my ankle plenty of times, and I will be happy if I never do it again. So I feel for him. I mean, it's not fun rolling your ankle. So, but yeah, like you said, the last couple games have been without Simons. For a little while now, it's been without Nurkic, and for a while, it's been without Winslow. So it's curious what's going to happen when Winslow comes back. And then one last quick little shout out: Shaden Sharp he kind of had that little rookie slump, and he's kind of breaking out of it again, and he's starting to play a little bit better. And I've been liking what I've been seeing from him again. Anything you want to add on Sharp or anybody else?
No, not really.
Hopefully it continues, because I mean, people won't like it, but I think Sharp could be a good trade piece if we really were trying to go all in. I wouldn't hate it if we kept him, and I wouldn't, depending on what player we'd get, I wouldn't hate it if we traded him either, but that's for another episode. All I know is we were up by 20, and all of a sudden we're only up by 4.
Yeah, it was 2 moment ago.
Third quarter. So we need Damian Lillard to score 71 points real quick, because they're coming back. But other than that, I think that's where we'll end this episode. Everyone that's listening, I hope you guys have a good night. Make sure if you're not in Discord to join Discord, because there's a lot of fun conversations in here. Other than that, everyone that's listening, have a good night. And as always, Rip City, baby. Thanks to My Life Pursuing for the music used on the intros and the outros of this podcast. You can check them out on all major streaming platforms at My Life Pursuing.
I'm trying, Jennifer. I'm trying, Jennifer.